Surprise attack again.
Noises.
Jacks, hit the button, and we're back.
And we're back. It's the StatrCast, and most importantly, Gary's back this week. We've missed you, Gary.
I'm back. Good to be back.
Just in time for Liverpool to be shit.
Well, they've been shit for the last 3 weeks, John.
That's why I haven't been. That's
why I haven't been here.
Like living under a rock. Like Liverpool went wank.
Oh, you love to see it. You love to see Titans
rock.
fall.
So. Anyway, afternoon. How we all doing? We're back. Fucking game week 7. International break, so we all get a moment to breathe, reset. I love this October. I like the October international break. This is the one where managers start getting sacked left, right, and center. This is statistically the highest trigger point for managerial sackings throughout the season, and we're probably going to see 2 over the next 2 weeks. But we're not going to talk about them today. We're going to talk about that stuff next week, because essentially next week is a dead week, because the football that nobody cares about because Ireland are muck, and we're just going to get sad and watch us get ran over by Portugal. And
stupid,
it's going to be really depressing
nonsense.
So
no proper stats.
The next 2 weeks of football isn't real, and it's not happening. And we have stuff to talk about. So today we're going to look at the game week 7 team of the week, and then we've got an interesting little tactical take, because obviously over the last few weeks there's been a few little trends emerging, Jimmy and Gary, in terms of long balls, how football has really changed. And do you remember the way for years y'all took the piss out of me over my little fetish about the big man up top? They're back.
That's because your fetish was about big men on top of you.
Same.
Not up top.
If he's big and he's Serbian, I want it. What's your point?
Bloody Fulham.
Mitrovic is not coming back, John. Let it go.
It's not happening, John.
Okay, but we got a Benji Sesko. I'm sorry, I've got a new one. What a mint! Look at him. I love him. He's now my guy.
Yeah.
Like, we're obviously getting really, really close with the app now, and I'm just going to say it now. If any of you take him, I will fight you. Okay, good talk.
Oh no! I'm sorry.
I can't be baited that easily.
I will wrestle you for him.
Can that be live streamed?
You two can talk publicly about your plans all you want. My drafting is ready to go. Maybe he features, maybe he doesn't. Either way, I will pick this thing apart before you crowd even realize that I'm eating. And I will devour the numbers, for I've been watching them like a hawk.
You will draft him purely for his hair alone.
It's great hair.
You know what? Fair.
him and Sesko. Great hair, man. It's all that matters.
Right by me.
It's all that matters.
But look, before we get into, like, I'm really excited to talk about this tactics bit, because I'm loving how this shifts, because especially you're seeing it across fantasy football platforms left, right, and center, how football has changed this season. It's been like one of the fastest transitions. Normally we've seen like a slow burn across into this playing out the back style. Playing out the back is dead. Congratulations. Let's move along. But first, we had a very interesting game week of football, and Jimmy has got the game week 7 team of the week. So let's look at which assets nailed it and which assets did not.
If we fly through it, I mean, if you want the breakdown and the text and the analysis and all of that kind of jazz, it's over on StatrDraft.com, which is always good for a look.
Are you not going to do the thing?
Hang on, STAT or draft.com.
It's over on StatrDraft.com.
StatrDraft.com. Weird week, or not even a weird week, a very, very interesting week, where all of those points that were out front last week shunted right to the back. So this week, our best possible lineup was actually a 5-3-2. And if this was a team of 11 real players going out on the pitch together, they wouldn't last 5 minutes, because it's just
I disagree. It's actually a very solid team.
It's a solid team if you're trying to like park the bus, but Rice, Caicedo, and Guimaraes is as your midfield.
Okay, so let's just actually go through this, because I disagree.
I will go through it. Okay, let's start in the stakes.
Do you remember? And here's my tip for next game week 8 in 2 weeks' time. Do you remember what I said after the last international break?
Goals
drop off majorly after the international break. So if you're coming into picking your lineups for the next game week 8, stack at the back. Doesn't matter what team, stack at the back, because the lads are flying here, there, and every fucking where. What happens is the goals actually go from like about 3.2 per game to about a 1.4 to 1.6 per game. And we saw it in the last one. I think we had 5 clean sheets across the 10 matches, or 4 clean sheets over the 10 matches. Real low scoring affairs. So just there's your early doors tip for game week 8. Stack
Yeah.
at the back.
Nine clean sheets week 5 versus 1 clean sheet week 6. So it's a very elastic thing.
There you
It
go.
snaps back the week
9,
after,
9.
and we'll be exploring that pattern in great detail once I have bigger spreadsheets. Let us start at the back because that's how we do it.
Who's in
He's a
goals?
favourite. He's a favourite of mine. He always has been. He's at Newcastle. They had a good week. They haven't had many very good weeks lately, but he had a very good week. They very nearly had 4 in the starting 11 for this week. It's Big Nick Pope. We love him. We do. We absolutely love him. Only 3 clean sheets across the whole league this week, and he was one of them. But where he made the difference, and this wasn't so much that he had a particularly brilliant week numerically, it was that other goalies didn't, but where he got the edge over the other 2 with clean sheets, which was Sells and Lamans, was the footwork. He's actually passing. He's doing that sweeper keeper stuff and
Which is
playing
very
it
funny
out.
because that's the stuff that people over the last 2-3 years would have been using as the stick to beat Nick Pope with, is that he's not good with his feet.
No, he's got it under
That's
control.
why they signed Ramsdale.
That's exactly
But
why
the whole argument was that Ramsdale is better with his feet than Pope.
Ramsdale hasn't got a sniff
No,
because Pope
Pope's
is massive.
Pope
And
has
he's
been
obviously
clutch all
learned how
year.
to pass the football.
I mean, it has. I've said numerous times as a Brighton fan who used to get ired watching De Zerbi ball that expecting goalkeepers to be at Premier League standards of passing with both feet is delusional, and it has caused multiple disasters. And I know that it's all part of this strategic thing that we're going to talk about later on, which is the set piece and the ball go forward so that it doesn't come back thing. But Pope seems to be on top of it. The passes connected are pretty good, so he gets his place to back this week. And just in front of him, teammate Kieran Trippier, who we love to see back. We love to see
He's
Kieran
only in
Trippier performing.
because Tino has a 6 to 8 week injury.
Yes, that's the only reason
Yeah.
he's back in the team.
Yeah,
it's good
but
to
my
see him
God,
back
he's
in the
using
team.
it.
Oh, absolutely. And
25
he's one
and
of
a
those
half.
players that when he does play, he will get you points.
The
Yeah,
problem with
yeah.
him, though, is because Newcastle also have European football, because they actually have a calendar and stuff like this, like he's not a consistent pick.
No,
But against a
he
team
is
like a
now
Nottingham
for the next
Forest,
6
where
weeks.
it's a lot of set piece plays he's going to be doing.
Yeah. For the next
He's
6 weeks,
useful.
he's a lock because Livermento's out.
No, do you
Yeah.
remember what happened to? But do you remember what happened to him last year, where like he just fell off a cliff because he essentially played too much football? And
Yeah, but that's not going to happen in a 6 week period. This is
Not
the
in 6
perfect
weeks.
time to
well,
get
it
Trippier.
is when he's going to be playing
Perfect
European
time to pick him
football
up.
and club, like European football and league football, because they don't have his rotation option.
Yeah, it's not that busy a schedule for the next 6 weeks. You pick him up for the next 6 weeks and then you drop him in November.
Yeah,
Yeah.
fair. If you
Yeah,
want,
you don't take a Trippier through December. There's just too
No.
much risk to lose there.
Pick him up now, take your points, drop him.
And
Actually,
you know
yeah,
what?
fair.
Malik Thiaw nearly got in as well. I don't know how to pronounce that man's surname, but Malik Thiaw was only a fraction of points behind Trippier. So really good week for Newcastle at the back. Next up, another team who had a good week at the back despite losing their first in 19 games, Daniel Munoz for Palace. Palace defenders are like the second tier of, if you don't know what to do, pick a Palace defender. Because they're great attacking, they're great at tackling, they're getting stuck in, they are moving the
Are we
ball back to
starting to
front.
create a little fantasy rule book here? It's like at the back, pick Arsenal, across the board, pick Liverpool, and if in doubt, get a Palace defender in the lineup. These seem to be the 3 golden rules that we seem to keep cropping back to over the last couple of weeks.
I was just about to get there with the third most interesting pick of the week, which is Jurriën Timber. And we've talked about this every week. It's like, which Arsenal back will make the top 11 this week? And with Palace, it's weird because there's 5 of them at the back, more or less, that are regularly playing. With Arsenal, it rotates between, I'm not sure about the pitch, but in terms of the points, it rotates between Timber, Calafiori, and McAllis. But I think McAllis was
which is their back 4. Essentially, it's which one is the getting on
who's the big boy this week, like, yeah. So again, if you're not sure, Arsenal defenders are safe, and Arsenal now top of the league because I slagged them all for the last 2 weeks. Next one up is one that's very close to my heart because it's the first time all season there's been a seagull in the top 11. It's Jean-Paul Van Hecke, thanks to an incredibly rare goal to salvage some dignity against Wolves of all teams. He'll be thereabouts all season. He's nailed on. He is as he's rising.
Funny.
Dunk is dropping.
They're so funny though. It's the games against the Wolves and stuff where they seem to let themselves down. Like if they could play City, Arsenal, Chelsea every week, they seem to be on it for those games. But the games against your Wolves, your Burnleys, your lower to mid stack teams seem to be the games where Brighton don't fully go through their gears all the time.
Oh yeah, if you want Brighton to win the league, let us play City every week.
Yes.
Like that's it. It's insane. But Van Hecke, as Dunk falls off, Van Hecke's rising, and he's going to be the captain of that team a couple of years down the road if he sticks around. But he's most certainly nailed on right now because there's really not much rotation depth at the Amex right now. So he's the top scoring defender of the week on 31, joint with Munoz. But the one I really want to get your input on, guys, is Guardiola. Guardiola popped up this week at 28. Now there was no goal there, right?
Assist.
Yeah, there was a shot on target, a lot of defensive work. But is this, and the way I'm reading this is that last year, not last year, 2 years ago, Guardiola became the asset of all assets because Pep was playing him as a midfielder. This week, Rodri comes off again, and you hate to see it, but Rodri comes off, and suddenly Guardiola's got literally 100 passes going through him. Am I guessing? Am I getting the vibe that Guardiola gets moved in to fill the gap in Rodri in that game?
See,
And
no,
is this a
because
long-term
Guardiola is
thing?
essentially last year he was playing as a left back, and with the way City's attack was structured, when Kevin De Bruyne upped and left, Guardiola. So traditionally, you had two fullbacks who basically ran overlaps up the wing, went outside the wingers, and created space for the winger to cut inside and play bits, or they do an underlap and come inside them for the winger to isolate on the outside. What's
Uh-huh.
happening? What happened last year was their fullback stepping in to create a midfield box, if you get me. So Kevin
Yes.
De Bruyne would go up and essentially be beside a Foden as 2 10s, and then Guardiola would stop in as a double pivot then in midfield to create like a box. So any clearances, that midfield area is completely locked in. So that's why he was getting a lot of second balls, a lot of, taking the ball down, pass the left, right, get the second, third, fourth wave of the attack going. I think he's been kind of playing more of a centre back role again this year, and centre back
Yeah,
see lots of the ball.
yeah, he has. He has. He's been playing center. He played center back against Brentford, and even when Rodri came off, I think it was Gonzalez who came on.
Yep.
You've got to remember that central midfield for City is pretty stacked. So Rodri is gone. If he's out long term, Gonzalez is there. Kovacic is still there. Oscar Bob can do a job in there as well. No pun intended.
It
There's
rhymes.
somebody Reinders. That's the name I couldn't remember. He's in there as well. So they're very, very well stacked to the point where, and Jimmy, we all know how you love to play players out of position. It won't happen for Guardiola. It won't.
No, so this was a once-off week, we think.
This was well.
Well,
I mean,
remember the way
he
we looked
will
at
be.
passing stats before, and you see that 8 of the top 10 are centre backs in terms of passing volume.
Yeah,
The
he'll be solid.
difference here is City are going more vertical this year versus left and right.
Okay.
Yeah. He'd be a solid addition,
Okay.
but I don't see him being in the team of the week every week like he was last season.
No, I think he's the best way to describe him at this point is where last season he was the defender to have. This season he is the City defender to have because there's not really much else lighting up the
I
sky
would agree
there.
with that.
Even
So far at the back we've got a back five with Munoz, Trippier, Timber, Van Hecke, and Guardiola.
Yeah.
That's a good back five.
It's a good back five, but the problem with this team is that what's coming next you don't need if you have that back five because next up is 2.5 defensive midfielders. Second week in a row he's made the cut. He's the only one in the 11 2 weeks in a row. It's the Arsenal City quarterback, Declan Rice, 30 points. He makes the plays, he throws the Hail Marys, gets in the end zone. He's their guy, he's their boy, he's consistent. I want to hate him, I can't, he's too good.
He's very good.
It's that simple. He's just
I
too
know
good.
we said it last week. He's very good.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's Arsenal's net captain. I'm like Odegaard went off injured again this weekend. That's more injury trouble for him. I know there's vice captains in terms of Gabriel, Saliba, Saka. I think over the next year to 2 years, you're going to see Declan Rice go, mouth that armband, that's mine. I think he's going to jump the queue.
I would disagree with John. I think that'll happen a lot quicker.
Oh yeah?
Oh yeah. I think that'll happen a lot quicker. If you look at Arsenal at the weekend for the first half or so, well, maybe for the first half hour or so, everything was going through Rice. It was him who was driving everything forward. Without him, they're rudderless.
It's really interesting because he was bought to be an out-and-out 6, and Jimmy, this is where you're wrong. He is not a 6 and hasn't been for about a year.
Yeah, he's a box-to-box 8.
He's box-to-box.
I know, but the premise of box to box assumes that you're in play as opposed to what Arsenal want to be doing, which is playing set pieces, and that's where I think his points come from.
I'm gonna say something. This hurts my
Are
feelings.
you? Are you going to say something controversial about Arsenal? Don't do it, John. Don't
Well, I'm
do it,
not going
man.
to say something controversial,
He's
but
going to say something nice about
I'm
Arsenal.
actually
Hang
going
on
to
a
say
second.
something nice about him, and it really hurts my soul. Uh, what happened? So after the Liverpool game and after was it the Chelsea game? Maybe anyway, two of Arsenal's games against the big teams, they went so defensive and they went NFL play for set
City.
plays. Let's just hop the ball off a defender and win a corner rather than try to take a shot. They played for throw-ins, they played for free kicks, they played for corners, and they got such a kneeling for it that when they went up against Newcastle, their lineup was they went for them. And then the lineup last week, I remember because I did the TikTok live on Saturday morning, and I saw the lineup of the team sheet come out, and I went, "Oh my days, this is attacking." Front three of Trossard, Gyökeres, Saka, midfield of
Etsy, Rice, and
Odegaard.
was it Odegaard? I thought
Yeah, that was
it
the
wasn't sure it was
midfield three,
Odegaard or
and
Zubimendi, but
Zubimendi
yeah,
came on then for Odegaard. So you had Eze, Rice, Odegaard, Saka, Trossard, Gyökeres as your front six. Like essentially, what happened there was it's like, oh no, everybody's found us out. Gun 'em. And I kind of appreciate that. Like, this is the nicest thing I'll ever say about Arteta, is that everybody seemed to have locked in that they want to play this set piece football, and they went, okay, this is what you're expecting this, so we have to do something different, and then use. But this is what they should be doing. Like with the assets and players that they have there, I have been saying it for a while. I feel Arteta's been holding them back because and Roy Keane said this best when it came to playing a big game. Pep will go for it. Alex Ferguson used to go for it. Pep Guardiola, Klopp, name them. It would be a case of how do we beat them versus Arteta, which would be more of a Moyes and more of a mid-stack manager of going, how do we not lose to them? Maybe more of a Mourinho style of how do we not lose first rather than how do we win first.
yeah.
So he's kind of shifted that narrative in the last 2 weeks. They're a lot more
I mean, they're
entertaining
a
to watch the last
very
week.
attacking team, incredibly attacking team. They're great to watch. It's all there's no messing around anymore. We're not, score one and shut it down or any of that shit. They're doing great. And
They're
you're
great.
right, Rice is by no means a DM. He hasn't been for a while. In fantasy terms, it's the corners and kicks that'll really tip him over.
This is par for the course. Like we've always used to say this about Andres Pereira. He was an absolute sleeper pick because he was chipping in with plenty of little bits from corners, free kicks, from having a target man. And I think if you're Declan Rice, he's supposed to be one of those guys that should be in the box for a free kick, but his delivery is so good. And
Yep.
Arsenal have targets in Calafiori, Timbers, Saliba, Gabriel, Gyökeres. That's 5 big buys. So they don't need Declan Rice. They can go, right, be the delivery man because you can do that. Whereas
Well,
that should
that's
have
where
been an Odegaard.
yeah, that's where his points are coming from at the moment, or from those set pieces. That's fair enough, but you got to remember, everything that Arsenal are doing goes through him, both going
Yes.
forward and going back. So he will be picking points up for passes, for tackles,
Yeah.
for everything
Passes.
else that's going. Everything else he will pick
Yeah.
up points as you go. I'm going to say it right here, right now. Declan Rice will be the top scoring player in Statter this season because he has everything.
No, he won't.
He will.
No, he won't. But he'll be the top scoring player for Arsenal.
He'll be the top scoring player, full stop, I think.
I don't. Let's see.
No.
It's going to take a while to judge that,
No.
but I would say dead right on the passes. 396 through him in 7 games.
Yeah.
So just under 60 per game for a fella who is not necessarily rooted to one spot in the pitch or a traditional Busquets DM anymore. But speaking of DMs, there's 2 more of them in the team this week. Well, 1.5. Bruno Guimaraes, who is like...
Is he the half or is he the one?
He's the half. Well,
Okay.
they're both half because they're all getting forward more. But Guimaraes is a really, really funny one because he's always had a discipline problem, right? And that's fine. That comes with the territory. But this year he has this colossal number of fouls but low number of cards that says to me that he has gotten much, much more clever at being a dirty prick. He did score this week. He won't score next week. You're not going to see a lot of him. He's not even the top half he's not in the top 5 for Newcastle.
Can we move off him though? It's like he's very good. He's a shuttle man. He's a water carrier. If I'm other teams that need, like City were touted with looking at him in the summer, they should have got him. as in he would have been
Yeah.
a great engine in that midfield. United have been dicking around looking at like a Belieber. Sorry, there's your ready-made man. Done. But it's the other guy I want to talk about because,
Yeah.
shit, has he
Yeah,
changed?
not a DM. The only man at Chelsea not getting a red card at the moment. He's the only man with that doesn't have a discipline problem. He is fixture proof. He is box to box. He's attacking. He's defending. He's passing. He's running. He's everywhere. My God, I wish we still had him. Why is Chelsea why is Brighton such an academy club for Chelsea? It's Moises Caicedo. Just 24 points this week, but he's in our team of the year and he hasn't left it, bar 1 week he dipped out. He's absolutely fixture proof. This guy is, and you know what? This started New Year's last year. He got about 4 weeks where he had the armband and he became a new man. He's one of those guys. He got the first leg up and suddenly he took it seriously. And now he is the Caicedo that is worth the money they paid for him. Beg, borrow, or steal.
He's so good. I actually think Chelsea right now have the strongest. And remember, Gary, we were talking about this even, and I said this on the live at the weekend. Liverpool couldn't play Florian Wirtz against Chelsea because the strength and power that is in that. Like they play a two-man midfield because Caicedo does the running of two. Last year, Caicedo scored 1 goal. He's got 3 already this year.
So that goal at the weekend was.
That's goal of the season contender.
Yeah, it is a contender, to be fair.
It won't win, but it'll be
no.
Reel. It'll be on the reel.
So for me, the thing about him is that he's so dangerous at the edge of the box, and I know others of that cut are these midfield generals usually have a welly on him, but that boy's got precision as well. Like McAllister will always take a punt. He won't always get there, but he'll always fucking crack one off from the edge of the box. Caicedo will put it in.
He traditionally hasn't, as I said, 1 goal all last season.
No, this year,
3 already this year. He seems to be developing again, and what he can become.
He's 24, I think.
24.
Yeah,
a long way to go.
Let me double check to confirm while y'all.
But the concern I have with Caicedo, I know he's in the team of the year and hasn't left.
23. Not 24 till the 2nd of November.
There you go. I would worry about what his points haul is going to be when Palmer comes back.
I don't think it makes a difference. I don't think Palmer is.
Do you know? I'm wondering whether or not like a lot of the play at the weekend.
You want my hot take?
Palmer's went through Caicedo. I'm wondering whether or not some of that comes away from him when Palmer comes back.
I think it does, but I also don't think Palmer is the starting choice for Chelsea come the end of the season, which I know is a big call to make. But that young flat Estevao, oh my, he's a special kid. João Pedro has to play. Like Caicedo, Enzo have to play. So that means,
but Neto doesn't play and Palmer does. That's how that goes.
Well, it means a rotation between Gittins, Neto, Garnacho, Palmer. I think once that Estevao kid finds his feet in English football, that right side is his. Like, he came on against Liverpool, but for someone that the willingness and the want to get on the end of that ball at that stage in the game when everybody's gassed out their ass, like
he does look like a special player.
He looks like a special player, and I don't think Cole Palmer. I think Cole Palmer is hype. He had a great 6 months last year, and then hasn't done anything.
Well, a lot of it is English hype. A lot of it is the 10% bonus hype that you get from being an English player.
When's the last time you played well? Last November?
It's a while. It is a while.
It has been
a year.
But Chelsea are a mess. Like they're doing well, but they're in fucking disarray. If they had any bit of discipline and organization, I don't just mean like tackles discipline. I mean just general organization to that club for the last couple of years. You wouldn't know where they'd be with that squad. There's been story after story, disaster after disaster, and nonsense after nonsense, and Palmer seems to have come out of it the best by just keeping his head out of it. You know, I don't see Caicedo slowing down because there's a wide spread of data points that are working for him. Again, 60+ passes per game, same as Rice. So it's that central midfield thing. He's in the middle of everything, and that's not like 3 weeks or 4 weeks while Palmer's been off. That's 7 weeks. I don't think Palmer. I'm with John here, Gary. I don't think Palmer puts a dent in Caicedo. I think he might hurt Fernandez a bit, but I don't think he hurts Caicedo in terms of fantasy.
It'll be interesting to see. It'll be interesting to see. I certainly wouldn't be dropping Caicedo when Palmer.
Look, that's just my hot take. I think with Estevao, with João Pedro, and with the other options they have out there, output is going to become important.
I don't see Estevao as an asset for this season.
Not yet. But I think he's
next year.
But next year, I think when you score your first goal against Liverpool of all clubs,
Yeah, but you could
that's
say the
trigger
same.
that, and then you start.
But you could say, and again, I don't mean to keep bringing it back to Liverpool. You could say the same thing about Gamoa after getting his first goal against Newcastle, and it has,
Slight
I'm not.
difference.
It's a
A
similar
slight
situation.
difference because the
It's a similar
Estevao is
situation. It's a
going to
similar
be.
situation. It's
Well,
a similar
no,
enough
it's not though,
situation.
because Estevao is going to be Brazil's right winger come the World Cup this summer. Like
I
he's
think
next
Vinicius
Neymar. He
Junior
is.
might have
That's
something
just,
to say about
that is
that.
how highly they rate him over there. They're like,
Yeah,
this is next Neymar.
Vinicius might have something to say about that. This
Vinicius,
kid is 16. You've got to remember
he's a
that.
little older than that.
No, I think he's 16 or 17. I think
He's
He's
17, I think. Yeah. Let me
But
confirm.
confirm again. But
18, 19 in April.
I still think I still think they don't. For the purposes of fantasy, I don't think you look at him.
I don't think you
Not
sign
this
him
year.
yet. You wait until if he starts 3 games on the bounce, then you pick him up.
Yes,
Mm.
that's a fair way to go. 3-4, but yeah,
If
I
it was
think
that's a
if
good
he
way
any
to
other
look at
starts
team,
it.
3 games in a row, then you can say that's his spot.
if it was any other team in the Premier League, I would 100% agree with you. But as Jimmy has said, Chelsea are a hot mess, and he could start 3 games in a row and then be dropped for Neto. You wouldn't, it could happen. You just
Good.
cannot. Outside of Fernandes and Caicedo and Sanchez in goal and
And
Pedro
Cucurella.
up top, right? And okay, fine. There's 5 players out of the 11 that you could that you can depend on will play 80 to 90% of the games. The rest of it is rotation. It is
Or
eventually it's going to
suspensions.
bite you in the ass.
Or suspensions in Chelsea's case.
Or
Or
suspensions.
suspension.
Many suspensions.
Yeah,
Fucking
yeah.
Chalobah.
But outside of those 5 players, they're going to bite you
Can
in
we
the
move on to
backside.
the forwards? And there's one guy I need to talk
Let's.
about.
There's 2 there, right? And
Can we just
again,
get
it
over
wasn't a
the
very
one
forwardy
first? Because the
week.
other fella I need to wax lyrical about.
I
So,
know, and
We all
you'll have
do.
company there. Daniel Mallon scored 2 goals against Burnley. Our Villa needed the win. Mallon needed the goals. You won't see him again. Lovely stuff. Well done. 37 points. Congratulations. You beat Burnley. And then the guy who has dissected Fulham in a one-man show, top scorer this week, still 2 goals. But what else
player
we
of the
got?
season
Shots
so
on
far.
target. We've got crosses. We've got an assist. We've got 90 minutes of scaring the living shit out of Craven Cottage.
It's not even Craven Cottage. It's every game so far this season.
It's every game so far. He is absolutely on form. It is
He's the player of the year so
ridiculous
far.
that FPL have him listed as a midfielder. It's Anton Semenyo for Bournemouth. If you didn't
No,
guess,
that's
this
actually
guy
a great
is the
take.
guy of the year.
So
Like,
this is
he's
where a
amazing.
key difference between us and the sisters across the street is Semenyo in our game is a forward, because guess what? If you're a Salah, if you're a Semenyo, if you're these wide forwards, it's in the title of their position. They're wide forwards, but across the road they're listed as midfielders, whereas we list them as what they are, wide forwards. Duh. It almost sounds logical, but Semenyo so far this season is the player of the year. If you were given the award, I know it's quarter of the way through the season, no big whoops, whatever. But if you were giving an award right now for player of the year, it's Semenyo, it's Semenyo, it's Semenyo. He is doing everything.
On
Bournemouth told
Semenyo,
everybody, and he
on
went,
Semenyo, just to make the fucking point about midfielders and forwards. I'm sorry, I'm very passionate about this. Would you like to see his heat map?
yes, please.
Oh yeah.
Okay, give me just a second here. This is Semenyo for 24-25. You should have that on screen in just about a second. Now, I'm not going to do the whole laser pointer thing, right? But I'm going to keep it really simple, okay? And this is speaking on behalf of those of us like me who like the numbers but don't really know a whole pile about football, okay? If you look very, very carefully at the 2 halves of this pitch, Semenyo is to the forward half of the pitch. And if you look in the center, or the midfield, if you will, that's where he fucking ain't. That's
Yeah,
why he's a forward. He's in the front half of the pitch making runs up the front half of the pitch. He's not doing any work defensively. He's not doing any win backs in the middle of the pitch. Himself, the Salahs of the world, not so much Garnacho. Who else? Trossard, great example. These guys who are pretend midfielders. It's absolute nonsense. You see something like this, you understand why it's nonsense. This boy is a forward. He's one of the best in the game at the moment. The fact that you can pick him up as a midfielder, and Jaden Anthony next door, both still listed as midfielders alongside Salah. It's nuts. It's just archaic. So yeah, that's my rant about the midfielder forward thing.
you're right on it, but he's been that first goal where he did the shimmy step and slotted on Leno in that near side goal, like lovely.
Yeah.
Justin Kluivert scored again, one of the goal of season contenders. What a fucking hit, son!
Good to see Kluivert
Actually,
back as well.
can I just have a little touch on this? This is one of these John fun facts. Patrick Kluivert has 3 sons, and they all scored in consecutive days last week. The first son scored in for Barcelona 21s. The second son scored for, I think, Leon or Lille or whichever team he's playing on. And then on Friday night, Justin Kluivert scored that. So Patrick Kluivert, the genes are good. It's almost like one of Holland's greatest ever strikers was
Yeah.
his
Can we?
boys were going to know how to play a little bit of football.
I'd,
And I
I'd
don't
like to
think
see a
Justin Kluivert's hit
Kluivert's
his
versus
level yet either.
Traore's match.
Justin Kluivert hasn't
Kluivert's
hit his
versus
level yet.
Traore's. Let's see it. Kluivert's versus Traore's. All of the Kluiverts and all of the Traore's against each other in one
Yeah, but all the
glorious game
Traores
of
aren't
football.
brothers. You could say
I
the
don't care.
Pogba's.
Is there a Reka Pogba's as well?
Florian Thurin, or what, I can't pronounce his name. One begins with a T and then Paul. There's
No,
3 of them.
didn't know there's brace of them. Fair play to the boys.
On that.
Fair play. But that's the team of the year. It's a 5-3-2. You won't
Team of
see
the
that again. The points average dropped down to 27. You won't see that again either. I suspect the strikers will be back, but not next week, because as John rightly says, international week, not the time for strikers. But the week after, it's all going to go completely Haaland. So that's all from the numbers for now.
Do we get to talk? I get to nerd out.
Is there something you've been waiting a long time to throw into the conversation,
John wants
John?
to talk about something.
We get big.
Oh, let it out, you chunky monkey. You know you want to.
Go on, say it.
Say it, John.
PepBall is dead. Even Pep doesn't play PepBall anymore.
Woo! It's over.
And before we get into the detail of it, right? What he made his whole baseline of how he plays off of was small techie technicians. Your Busquets, your Messis, your Xavis, your Iniestas, your small architects, the guys who will pin a needle. Like, that's now the standard. The big boys still now need to know how to play football. The big boys aren't now like a Peter Crouch, a Kenwyn Jones. They're what has become what Pep Guardiola started doing in like 2005, 6, 7, 8 with that Barcelona team back in the pomp of it. He carried it through, and like you even look at his initial teams at City, Aguero, Bernardo Silva, Kevin De Bruyne, small techie treaders. The boys who move a ball at speed with precision. Who can't do that now? Because everybody spent now 20 years watching PepBall. So all the lads coming through have to know how to, even a big boy needs to know how to control the ball, turn it, move it. So if you've got a choice between 2 guys who do the exact same job, so let me give Caicedo being a big bio, versus, I don't know, Kobe Mainoo. You're picking Caicedo because he's got the presence, he's got the power. This is Jose's method of football having a fucking renaissance. Jose's team at Chelsea was stacked to the rafters with big, strong workhorses that put in the hard yards, but were also big units. Like, look at a picture of that Chelsea team. Like Newcastle right now, land of the Giants. Watamendi's after going in there and become the big bastard in the land of the Giants. He stood beside Dan Burn and Nick Pope, and you're like, ooh, we don't like this. This is lots of large people. But what's happened?
Yeah,
right?
but these boys can still play football. It's not a. Let's just clarify one thing. This is not a renaissance of Jose ball, and let's hope that never fucking happens. Because
no, you're talking about the Jose, the single act Jose games of war of attrition, backs against the wall football. Overall, Jose ball isn't that. It is speed. It's aggression. Jose Mourinho's team at Real Madrid is one of the most beautiful football teams to watch. Mesut Ozil and Cristiano Ronaldo linking up for Ronaldo's single biggest season in terms of output. That was under Jose. So this idea that Jose's defense first is horseshit. He knows how to stack a team to win a game.
I would class this more as Fergie ball.
Okay.
Power, speed, precision, all together, very much as a unit, attacking as one. I would class it more as Fergie ball rather than Jose ball, but I get where you're coming from.
You get where, so basically, like,
and I hate saying that as a Liverpool fan, by the way.
PepBall is dead. So, like, what you're saying is like, right, and
let's just say, thank God PepBall is dead.
So boring.
Fuck me.
It was very pretty. It was very pretty to watch as an outsider and a novice. It was lovely to see lads making lots of short passes.
It was snooze fest. Let's suffocate you.
I prefer to watch, like, you might as well have been watching the lads in a training session. fair enough for the 2 or 3 minutes combined in the game where they actually played the ball and put the ball in the net. It looked beautiful. It was a piece of art. Hang it in the Louvre, fine.
And you know what the
for
best
the
part
other
about this
87
renaissance
minutes,
is?
you slept. You slept through the other 85, 86 minutes because it was just boring.
Do you know what I'm loving about this renaissance is? So Rory Delap must be sitting at home twisting the fucking nips off himself, going like, I'm about to get a job with every single Premier League club and teach him how to throw a football. Like it's so who's the
bigger than long
manager
throws, though, isn't it?
who is the archetype of this long throw in the Premier League? Can anybody tell me who
Glasner.
that is?
Glasner.
No, who was it? Stokes. Tony Pulis.
Tony Pulis. Who was in that team?
Rory Delap.
Who was his teammate in the centre midfield at that time? Keith fucking
Glenn
Andrews.
Williams? It was Keith Andrews. No,
2 years.
No, Keith Andrews was at Blackburn at that time.
Keith Andrews played at Stoke for 2 years. They played a season and a half together, Keith Andrews and Rory Delap. So there's a throwing coach that Liverpool had under Klopp I'm trying to explain this without, there's so many moving parts here, right? So PepBall was all about tiki-taka, keep possession, retain the ball, move people around, find and create a gap and play it. Klopp football was gegenpress, up in your face, rock and roll football, 100 miles an hour from the front line. So if a team is trying to keep possession and another team is trying to press you all the way from the front line, what's the best way to get through it?
Over the top.
Over it.
To go over it. So before we get through to before we get through to the numbers in terms of the throw-ins, because this all makes sense. The passing numbers in the Premier League are at a 15-year low, but at an 8-year high precision rate. Let that one sink in.
So the boys are only doing it when they know they can.
So what you're seeing is you're just seeing defenders moving the ball around between them a little bit. Striker comes to press. Oh, fuck you. You just created my gap. Send.
Okay.
And send it with precision. So you have, because football's gone so tactical and everybody now has a system, everybody has a style. It's not go out and play with heart and desire and stuff that lads did even in the mid-2000s. Like every team has really structured, rigid defensive structures because like that's how football has gone. So when a team starts to press you Klopp style from the front, best move is get over it. So when a team then also wants to keep the ball at the back, you do a mid block and stop their pass flow. So again, that means they have to send it longer. So passing volume is at a 15-year low, but long ball passing accuracy is at an 8-year high at the same time. So this isn't Pulis, Moyes, langer it up off the big man and play off second balls, more of attrition style football. This is considered tactical chaos. Very good example of that at the weekend was watch Lemens's first game for United versus Bayern. Lemens, every time he had a forward coming at him, he wasn't passing it right to Delap. He wasn't passing it left to a Euro. He played off Sesko, the 6'5" centre forward that they bought in the summer. Almost as if, oh my God, we have this asset. Why don't we use their strengths? Exactly what City have done this year with Haaland, which is against everything that Pep Guardiola's ethos of football stands for, which is play the channel, play the big man, play him into his fucking strengths, and if we get a set piece, we set it. So Liverpool were very good at this. It was the swallow mechanism that Klopp used to do. That midfield was essentially designed for second balls. The front line, Firmino led that press the man. Team would try play it through. Fabinho, Henderson, and who was the other one, Gary?
You've caught me off guard now.
Sorry. Anyway, I'll pass it by. But you get what I mean. That set,
Yeah.
Those three boys in the middle, they weren't technicians. They were engines.
No, they were workhorses.
Their aim was front three press, we sweep and recycle, sweep, recycle, sweep, recycle. Mm-hmm. So again, this makes sense when you're looking at how teams are playing this season. It's the fastest single trend I've seen ever in football. I love it. So just to throw out
before you go to the numbers, John, I don't think it's that fast. I think it's part of something bigger over the last 18 months. This is the third of these everybody is doing this tactical trends I've seen, or very obvious ones. There was the Brentford fascination with using the kickoff as a set piece. There's the Arsenal corners. There just seems to be a swing towards trying to manage the play as much as possible into controlled situations where you can define vector, where you can define velocity. And it looks to me like a very methodical, clinical approach to football. And I love it because it's super sciencey.
But it's actually not.
No?
It's actually it's beautiful because it's controlling the chaos. So in 2002, 2004, there was so it's almost like we've gone back to the future, right? Because in the early 2000s, you wanted a big man play second balls. You wanted to play for set pieces because every team was building off of speed and power. So again, your best route to a goal was through your set pieces and through strong set play rhythms. So, and you see this now with the way nobody can grab and pull off each other. So you have blocker runs. Like this blocker runs are such an NFL thing that didn't exist in football 10 years ago. Ben White made a fucking the last 2 years of his career basically being a blocker runner. Like it is what it is. So it's really, really interesting to see. So just to throw out some details, passing is at that 15-year low in terms of rates. Set piece goals have increased by 25% so far this season. So a higher increase in the goals. Long throws have gone from 1.5 per game to 3.4 to 3.6, 128% increase per match. Even the big clubs are doing it. So last year in the Champions League semi-final, Arsenal launched 11 into the box from throw-ins.
Can I ask something on behalf of the football knowledge lacking idiots in the audience, as I always do?
Hit me.
At what point does it become a long throw?
I actually don't know. The
you know when you see it. It's like pornography.
It's like offside.
It's like pornography. You don't know how to describe it, but by God, you know what it is when you see it.
I was going to say offside.
It's probably anything over about over 12, 15 yards, probably, John.
Okay. I was just wondering, is there a number or is it just a kind of a
thing? So for example, right, in 2016, passes per game was 881, 18 was 906. So we hit a passing peak there in 23-24 of 941 passes per game, with a passing accuracy of 81.3%. And so far this year, we have taken a full 100 less passes per game, which is 849 at an 82.6% pass completion rate. So John, 100 less passes, but more accuracy.
Just to interrupt you there, John. A long throw in the Premier League is defined as a throw in that travels at least 20 meters.
Yeah, fine.
So that's the number.
Cool.
Sorry.
Cool. Thanks.
But it also means that teams are transitioning the ball faster, and you can actually see that, right? So we looked at like a few teams from last year. So 11 teams are actually moving the ball faster up the pitch than they did last year. So we've got United, Brighton, Newcastle, Brentford, Liverpool, Arsenal. There's only 2 teams bucking that trend who are actually taking more passes on average per game, and they are Nottingham Forest and Chelsea. You seen them? Forest and Chelsea. They're the only 2.
As you say this, I'm looking at the team of the year, where it's the guys making the most passes because of their pass completion rate, and I love that our game rewards this. Yes. I didn't see this coming. I'm not in the heads of the top 10.
So if you read the article, I wrote
I
think I wrote one of my favorite articles there on StatrDraft.com. StatrDraft.com, StatrDraft.
Thereabouts.
Up there. But it's a really fascinating trend, right? So as I said, those are the passes. That's just on the passing rates. So, and this makes sense because if you're looking at teams that everybody now has started passing out from the back, everybody's looking at that high press. So it makes sense to try go over it. When defenses are more organized than they've ever been, you need to find your gaps. Your best gaps is by creating chaos. The best way to create chaos is through corners, through throw-ins, where there's massive bodies in around goalkeeper, 8-9 guys in a 10-yard zone with pre-planned, organized runners. By controlling the chaos and organizing the chaos to your benefit, and you can see this in the trends of the players who are picking up points for headers, for aerial duels, the Dan Burns, the James Tarkowskis. You're also seeing those numbers in terms of lads that are on the outskirts of it, the guys like the Casidos, who are hitting the second balls and gaining the retention balls and the rebounds and stuff like this. So when you actually look at this, what you're doing is you crowd the 6-yard box, you win the first contact, and you win the second contact, which is very much 2004 Jose ball, or even mid-90s Fergie ball style, as Gary kind of attested to. So like that, like there's a lot more detail on this, but like if you want to like, and the summer spending, this really nuggets it out. So there was 5 of the 5 most expensive transfers into the Premier League this summer. Only one's under 6'3".
Yeah, it's a mad stat.
That's
It's mad, but when you think on who they
mental.
are,
Benji Sesko, 6'5".
mm,
Alexander Isaac, 6'4". Nick Walton-Aid, 6'6". And Hugo Ekiteke being the tiny little chicken on that list at a total of 6'3". And the only other one that's out of that zone,
Flying
Florence.
Verts.
And how's his season going?
not great so far. Isaac's 6'4".
Yep. He's
Yeah.
surprisingly big. He's
He
a
never looked like a big
smooth
lad, no.
operator.
Yeah.
But
He
remember,
always
he also
struck
played
me
in
as
the
more
land
of
of
a
the Giants.
runner than a barger.
The problem is he played in the land of the Giants last year.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, so you don't think, yeah.
Or he was the Abbey in the Newcastle dress.
But I think this is the lovely thing about what's going on now versus what was going on back in Delap time, because Delap's torpedoes essentially coming from the halfway line and such. The trajectory then was so much more, and it was literally a case of you win that and only that. Interesting fact: Delap actually threw javelin as a kid. And that's how he was able to get. That's how he was able to get that trajectory. What's happening now, though, is the balls are coming in, and John, as you rightly say, it's first and it's second contact that you're winning. But these big lads, not only can they have to be able to have the strength to win those first and second balls, but they need to be able to play as well. And Isaac is a very, very good example of that.
And that was the point.
Woldemade is a very, very good example of that. These lads can also transition into playing on the ground if they need to.
Yes.
So it's organized chaos is the best way to describe this, and it's absolutely fucking beautiful to watch.
Your benefit that you're creating chaos for them, but you know the patterns of your chaos that you're trying to achieve.
But it's beautiful to watch.
It is, and Hallam was the archetype for this type of forward, and the big man is back up top, and it's almost this circular nation, and this is where things come in full circles and full cycles, and it's class to see. But what I was saying at the start of this was the throwing numbers going from 1.6 to 3.4 a game this season alone. That is based off Keith fucking Andrews Brentford, because last year they scored. I might be misjudging the numbers slightly on this because I actually don't have them in hand, but I think they scored from 24 long throws last year versus 11 for the next nearest team. Thomas Frank has obviously gone to Spurs. They've started adopting that same thing. Even Man United did it at the weekend with Sesko getting on the end of a Dalot launch into the box. Teams have seen the benefit of it, and if you see a team like Brentford scoring, I think it was a fifth of their goals last year from these type of incidental set plays, like the likes of their quick kickoff, the likes of these momentary flash in the pan type things that they can pre-plan for, like that, like their kickoff routine, like their long throwing routine. Bournemouth are a very interesting team. If they do a kickoff, they do it rugby style. They kick for touch in the corner and then do a secondary press.
Number check on Brentford. It was that there were 24 throw-in goals last year from long throw-ins. Brentford got 7 of them.
Something like that.
Which is insane.
Twice the volume of the nearest competitor to them. And every
nearly a third. One more, and they've got a third of all the long throw goals last season. Like, that's unbelievable. And then when you factor in that other little trick they had of the two just after the whistle from Buemo from the kickoff, like, you've suddenly got a team who have really, really made the most of set pieces through last season. Shame they can't do it this season.
And this is, Gary, kind of what the point I was making at the start of it is these guys, the smooth operators from a decade ago, like the Agueros. Well, Isaac can do what Aguero did, technical ability-wise. You know what I mean?
But he also has that height and strength.
He has that size and power to match it. Like, that, there's the difference. So, like, those guys were outliers. Like, those small, technical, mobile operators, they were hard to get close to. They had low center of gravity. They were nippy. They were mobile. That's now standardized. That level of technical ability to be able to take a ball under pressure, turn them, and like, watch, like, Jesus Christ, it was fascinating to watch your man Nick Waterman. Like, you're saying he's a target man. He not really, like, you know what I mean? Like, Fellaini would have flown in this era, in this current zone of football. Peter Crouch would have danced because he was very good feet. You were just about to say the exact same thing.
I was literally about to say the same, Peter.
But it is, that's what we're seeing, and it's really cool because now on this article I did actually have a look at players to watch, assets to watch, and how you can cash in. So my top tips are terms of, the first one is draft the trees. Centre backs who win your headers, like, have a look at who's winning the headers at centre back, pick them, and find your target type strikers who are going to get on the end of these throws. Find your throw-in teams. The top of these are obviously Brentford, and then it's Crystal Palace, Bournemouth, Newcastle, Sunderland. it's almost like the guys with the largest lineups are utilizing this trick to their benefit the most. You want to look at a goalkeeper who loves a scrappy ball. So this is why Nick Pope, big bastards who command their zone. Like if you want a goalkeeper right now, that's what you're looking at, is a big boy who commands his own. It's why Bayern was so muck. It's why you're seeing the transition. You're not seeing Ramsdale getting minutes at Newcastle yet because Pope is so commanding in the box. Henderson so commanding in the box.
Emi
Am I right in
Martinez.
saying Henderson will be in the top 5 keepers right now in our mechanism without even looking at it? Give me the top.
He's
5
up there.
keepers.
He's up there. Yeah, he's scoring 10 a game at the
And
moment.
like basically say, and like the assets that we look at, Benjamin Sesko, you could see United change their style of play a touch this weekend with the men's and goals because he can play a ball, and it wasn't going 5 yards left and right. It was once pressure comes, play off Sesko, and Mount actually was the one to mention it. And I watched the 2 clips back because I listened to a Mount interview today in the car because I was in the car for 7 hours. That's beside the point. But he was literally like, every time Lamens touched the ball on his left foot, I knew to get close to Benji because that's where it was going. It was going off the 6'5" man and play off the second ball. Alexander Isak at Palace, it's Mateta and Lacroix. Lacroix is the one launching them. Mateta is the one receiving them. Kevin Shad at Brentford. You have Mukhele, I can't really pronounce his name, apologies, at Sunderland, but my God, he has a cannon and a half. Joe Linton and Livramento at Newcastle. They're the kind of ones to be looking at. Those were the specific players I picked out. But do have a bit of your own research. But I'm just loving the fact that this is all implemented off of. So, as I tried to explain last week, there was this throwing coach that Klopp hired at Liverpool, and it was how to take a throw in to retain the possession and create angles and space for them to play through. Brentford hired him, and essentially Keith Andrews and him had a conversation. Went, "Do you remember my mate Rory? And do you remember how much chaos that caused for every team in the Premier League? How can we replicate that?" And thus, this was born. And that's so. Keith Andrews, there's your flowers. Rory Delap, there's your flowers. Like, football is so beautifully circular at times, and in an era where it got so tactical, so formation driven, so lacking of accountability to the sense that I've done my job, it can't be my fault. To return to this slow moving thing to football got really slow over the last 3 years. Like you can see it in the passing numbers, 100 less passes per game in the first batch of Premier League games with a higher pass completion rate. 11 teams going more vertical than they did last year. It's faster. It's more power based. It's going to lead to more goals. It's going to lead to more cards. It's going to lead to way more fucking entertainment. Then I'll give it to you, give it to me. And if I pass it back to my goalkeeper and he messes up, then we just all pat each other in the back and go, "That's how it works sometimes. Sorry. Fuck that. PepBall, you're done. Modern day Daishi ball. Bring it."
More big lads.
So happy.
This is
That
the
was a good
happiest
20-minute
I've
rant.
ever seen John outside of a pub.
Like what you're saying plays out in the numbers so hard right now, particularly in midfield, because I'm looking at our 5 highest scoring midfielders of the season, and 4 of them are pass pivots.
Mhm.
Anderson, Rice, Caicedo, and Garner. It's 4 of our top 5.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
And look
Again,
at the
it's the accuracy
of
thing.
the centre forwards who were getting the goals.
Well, Haaland basically walked through 3 defenders to score his goal at the weekend. For anyone who saw it, it was, I won't say walked as in it was easy to get past them. I mean, he walked through them. He pushed them away like little jackets.
He ragdolled 3 grown-ass men is what he did.
Unbelievable. But yeah, I see it, man. The numbers call it out. And happily, our point system works with it too.
And I do
it's just
mention
a happy little accident, as the great Bob Ross would say.
Highly recommend anybody to have a look at the article. It's one of the ones now I'm probably most proud of. I do have a couple others in the tank that I'm working on at the moment, so I'll just give the little breakdown. I am going to be having a look at the international break and the rationale behind manager sackings in the October international break, and who are the 2 or 3 I reckon are on the chopping block. I reckon there's 3 potentially on the chopping block, but I reckon the trigger loan will be pulled on 1.
Name it. Who's the first one gone?
Ange.
No.
Nah.
Ange. He's meeting with Martinez already. This came out like about half an hour before the thing.
Yeah, no, he'll still be there.
You think? You really don't give your man Marrakenis enough credit for being a mental case.
No, I just don't think he has the stones to be associated with historical Leeds levels of getting rid of managers.
If he
Considering the
does
history
this,
that
he won't
Forest
be
have,
able to hire. If he does this, he won't be able to hire any quality to replace, no matter how much money is there. If
there's
he
that
churns
too.
out 2 in 6 months, who the fuck takes that job next?
Graham Potter.
Potter? Oh God!
Oh, come
You
on,
don't want them.
no.
I think he's on the chopping block.
Graham
Well, like
Potter's like
Brentford
the
are
little
currently
version of
17th.
Ange. Why would you
Brentford are
buy? Why
currently
would you take?
17th. Or sorry, Nottingham Forest are currently 17th in the league, and Ange has been there a month and he's lost 7.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
do you
Like-
bring in Graham Potter, who like West Ham were 18th?
Oh, don't get me
and
wrong. I don't think it's Graham Potter who should get the job, but he's on the market. There's a known entity manager on the market. There's others. There is others. Like, I wouldn't be surprised for him to go sniff around Russell Martin, who just got sacked up at Rangers. The sky isn't all rosy for Brendan Rodgers at Celtic. Like, there's guys you can get. The other couple that I think are potentially on the block are Victor Pereira over at Wolves. I don't think they'll be slow to pull the trigger there if they need to. And Scott Parker.
Now, Parker is exactly where Parker expected to be, which is desperately trying to break into 17th.
Scott Parker
but
isn't
I think
Premier League
Pereira
manager.
is.
I know
He's
this,
not, no.
and this
Pereira's
is my
screwed.
bias. This is my bias because he got the strongest ever team that has been relegated from the Premier League relegated with that Fulham lineup. Let me just run out some of those numbers. In goals, Alphonse Areola. The back four is Anthony Robinson, Alaina, Tosin Adarabioyo, and Joaquim Anderson. The midfield was on the left, Bobby Decadova-Reid. On the other side, Adam Ola Lukman. And the midfield was Frank Zambo and Gisa. Fucking the Wolves midfielder that's over in Turkey now. Marco Lamina and Mitrovic up top. And I'm missing one player from that list. He got that team relegated.
I mean, he wasn't on the pitch, John. Maybe it was just your players were shit.
No, because the team were fine until they weren't being relegated.
See, I like the thing about that though is the team was fine until they lost more games than they won, therefore scoring very few points and getting relegated. It's quite
this is why he's got sacked every time he's been in the Premier League. This is why he's been promoted from the Championship 3 times and been fired 3 times from the Premier League.
I don't rate him. I just think Pereira's in more trouble.
I think it goes Ange, Pereira, Parker in that order. I am writing an article on the rationale behind them. The other article I'm working on is how tactics essentially don't matter right now, and because there's so much bollocksology I'm reading online about, like Amorim's system, Glasner's system. Can anybody tell me what formation Man City actually play?
City?
What formation do they actually play?
It's like 4-4-2. It's like a variation of 4-4-2.
Exactly. It's a variation of a 4-4-2. But in defense, it's a 4-4-2. And in attack, it's a 3-4-3. Or a 3-5-2 even in attack. So like formations are way more fluid than they've ever been. And again, I want to have a look at that and how that's affecting our fantasy assets, and that will be reflected.
Well, I mean, the mysterious other Kavanagh, who isn't with us at the moment, did nail it there a few weeks ago when he said the only time that the little letter beside the name matters is at the very start of the game when you have a look at them on the TV and go, oh, there's 4 of them at the back, oh, there's 3 of them, and then it all gets fluid. It's really, really cool.
Formations.
But I'm looking forward to your articles, John, because I like your articles because I read your articles and then I feel like I know football things when in fact I really just know nothing.
But you know what they are? They're a great space where you can go in, pick a nugget so that you sound like a bit smarter. It's like
spoof the boys in the pub with John's articles.
Like I just do a buttload of research in advance. I forget about them 5 minutes later, but I do hours of research in advance. And then the second I've done it, it's like info in, info out. But yeah, literally, if you can go in and when you sit down in the pub, you see Brentford stack up and go, right, they're going to do that 4 times today. But even for your betting odds.
Normally, this is where we would look at next week's games, but there's some stupid flag bullshit next weekend. Everyone's playing for their fake teams. So we'll be back next week anyway.
Yeah, Gary,
before we
talk
go
about all sorts.
I think we have before we go next week, don't we? So Dean and Gary can have it out over the Manchester and Liverpool game. And we just sit back, Jim.
Oh, you got it, man. I love this. I'll have the popcorn on, yeah?
Next week, we're going to look at the team of the year so far, just from that international break standpoint. We might have a look at the sack race, depending on what happens in the next week or so. but we're definitely going to have a preview on week 8 with a major focus. Because we didn't talk about any of the games from the week gone really today, more so the players. And I think that Liverpool United game is a very fascinating dip across the next week because Gary.
Be interesting to look at that sack race because I am going to throw an extra name at you, and it's Hurlitzer, who I think might be in trouble at Brighton.
I don't think he's in trouble for sacking,
but
I think he moves.
We can get into that, but I think he might be because Potter is available.
Brighton aren't going to go back to Potter.
Anyway,
Brighton aren't going to go back to Potter.
Graham Potter's not a good manager. Chris Hughton built the basis of what Potter ran with.
I know.
Derby improved it.
I know. But I'm just throwing it out there. It's one for debate after your article.
No, I think Brighton having lost exactly as many games as Liverpool this season might make you rethink that. I don't know. He's certainly not shining this year, but I don't think he's up there. For me, it's Pereira, and I know I'm a very simple guy, but if you're not a promoted team and you're at 20th and you're consistently 20th, you have managed to go below a lowered bar of expectation.
Gary, I'm going to leave you on this statistic.
Yes.
I'm going to leave you on this little statistic. Man United have only lost one game more than Liverpool this season, and supposedly they're shit. Anyway, over onto StatrCast.com. Follow us on TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, all those good bits and pieces. Jimmy, give us a very quick app breakdown, and let's bounce.
Oh, the app's on the way. Keep watching the skis, but between here and there, read us over at StatrCast.com and follow us everywhere you can. And share the little videos. People love the little videos, especially Arsenal fans. Night.
And if you're on Saturday mornings between 10 and 11, I'm live, so you can come and scream at me about why I'm wrong about football.
Yes.
So let's do a bit of that.